want to know which planet was causing your suffering? How about Earth?
Hey everyone, Brandflex here, back with a new YouTube video. For today's video, we're going to be starting a new game in Wuthering Waves. Obviously, I am jumping on the bandwagon, but I do genuinely enjoy this game, or else I wouldn't make a video about it. I'm sure you guys are longtime regulars of the channel. You know that once I kind of lose interest in making videos or content, I will always drop it. So the fact that I am making content hopefully shows my genuine interest with playing the game and potentially exploring it more. So with all that said, full disclosure, I know this is an early game new player tips video, but I am not actually an experienced player at all. I have not played testing, I have not really researched it. These are tips from a genuine new player to you guys who are maybe also genuine new players. So hopefully you'll find it really down to earth and, you know, relatable. I know that I could do a bit more research for the video, but I want to get my first reactions to what, you know, jump on the hype immediately, but also just give my genuine opinions on what new players should really focus on. So with all that said, this video will assume that you have progressed somewhat into the story. You do need to clear, I think, up to Act 1.3 to get everything unlocked, so that includes upgrading your characters, that includes unlocking the maps you can spend your plates on, and that includes convenes, which are this game's version of summons. So the very first tip that I have with this game is that if you intend to play the game long term, save your premium currency and just let Kudo Games give you the free mass to summon on the beginner banners. So going into the settings and going away from this beautiful landscape that is unfortunately foggy. I don't actually know why it's been foggy for so long. But going to convene, you'll see that I personally have already finished the super beginner's choice banner. But you'll notice that I have 2.3 thousand of the premium currency. And the reason why I haven't used any of that to pull Jianxin, even though I really want the Monk Lady, is because if you go into the store, you'll notice that the exchange for the generic banner or the beginner banner and the actual exclusive banner are the exact same. So every time you invest premium currency into the generic banner, you're losing out on potential pity rates for a future banner. So if you're not planning on playing the game long term, then by all means do whatever you want. Like if I didn't think I'd enjoy the game, I would have sunk all my premium currency into more Jiangxin pity rolls. But since I do want to play the game long term, I am waiting for the lustrous tides to come in from, you know, maintenance or dailies and all that, and I'm just hoping that I can find 80 before, you know, something happens to the beginner banner. I'm pretty sure it stays permanently, but I don't know. I haven't researched again. Haven't researched that much. So to find more lustrous tides, you can, you know, once you use the lustrous tides you gain from playing the game, you can find more from the oscillated coral. You can see I already burned all of my oscillated coral to get more of the lustrous tides because they're missing. But obviously you do want to invest the rest of your oscillated coral into these two other more premium currencies. Now the Aftershock Coral is going to be way more valuable of a resource, and this is going to be something that I'm pretty sure you're going to want to use on the dupes that are in the shop. This is a very special game where you can actually buy the dupes with the premium pity currency that you get from rolling. So for example, for me, I'm going to want to save all my dupe currencies for the Jianxin wave band, so I can get Constellation to Jianxin, whatever they call their upgrades in this game, the dupe upgrades. I want to get there at some point, so I'm going to save up for that because I want to main Jianxin in the future and hopefully make videos about her and optimizing rotations. Obviously, you can go for the 4-star versions of this, like the Baizhi and the Yang Yang, but they're a bit more accessible. You're probably going to hit these full dupe upgrades over time if you keep pulling on the lustrous tides. So with that aside, with the, you know, saving currency, premium currency, whatever, let's say that you finally pull the character that you really want to, or you're just coping and, you know, dealing with two characters that you've got really lucky, to be fair, to pull, but not exactly who you wanted. Even if you don't pull who you wanted, you still need to play the game. And to play the game really well, you do unfortunately need to invest resources. And those resources I'm talking about are going to be the character experience and the weapon experience resources. So if you played any game, you know, Pokemon, Genshin Impact, probably Tower of Fantasy, I haven't played that game, but like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, every game that has a level system will be significantly easier if you use that leveling system. I know it's a no-brainer, but I'm pretty sure every tips and tricks guide will mention it. So to just hop on that too, resonators, bottom left where it says ascend, if your character is below the max level, it'll say level up. You click the level up button, you see the vials, you use the vials. One big thing about the vials on the character experience that I've noticed is that the game tends to overlevel your characters for some reason. So when you hit auto select, deselect a few of the green vials to see how overleveled they are, and then click level up. If you need more of the vials, you need to go into either more map exploration or questing, or there is a simulation training NPC in the main town where you can go and use your wave plates to, get more of these mats. So wave plates are the timed resource of this game. I don't actually know what the rates are, but it seems like 1 day is a full 240 at the bare minimum. So you do only have so many of these premium activities you can do. So you can do these simulation trainings, which gives you both the character experience and the weapon experience things, and also shell credits, which I think is the gold. But also, if you see on the map, there are these really important mobs that you can farm. This is a tangent for the second tip, but you just want to make sure you know exactly what you want to do with these resources. You can see here that you do get some experience from farming these important mobs, and obviously you get the cores, you get the mob itself as a summon, but you do really need to know what you want to do, because if you kind of burn too much experience or burn too many plates on the resonance trainings, or rather the simulations, then you're not going to have enough to actually do the important stuff like farm the summons. So just be really aware. Obviously, I think doing a few of the simulations is really valuable to power your character up so you can do the actual boss battles, but just don't go overboard, right? And so if you're curious about the weapons are right underneath the characters. You just hit upgrade button, and then here it says ascend because I already have a max level weapon here, but it's just a upgrade generically. So the third tip, which I know is kind of a subset of the second tip, but the third tip I have is going to be, I guess it's more the fourth tip, but anyways, that this tip is going to be, make sure you change the auto select button or auto select option on the weapon upgrades, because since we're all starting, 4-star or 3-star weapons are still very valuable. So you want to make sure that you don't accidentally eat your 3-star weapons, because you can see here, if I scroll to the side, I think it's only using 2 stars because I've rolled more since then. But when I first did my first 2 10 pulls, there were a few 3-star weapons in here. And 3-star weapons are really important because, first of all, we have just started the game, so we need those 3-star weapons as actual quote-unquote good placeholder weapons. But also, those weapons feed into each other as dupes. So if you want to use these weapons and you want to have a stronger early game, then you're going to want to use these dupes to power up your weapons that you want. And also, most importantly, these weapons have the unfortunate side effect or attribute of rolling side stats. So if you want to min-max your character from the start, you do want to check the weapon itself to see what the effect is, and then you're going to want to check the actual side stat to see what exactly you're getting when you equip the weapon. So you can see here, I don't even know this girl's name, I've played this game so little. My character there, my healer, who is Verena, she is currently equipping an energy regen weapon because I was like, oh, I want to ult more because it's really good, which might be fine, but Verena scales off of attack, so maybe I want to use this other weapon for more attack. Maybe I want to use some HP to make her tankier if I want to aggro with her. So there's all these small things you need to check, and if you just want to min-max the game from the very start, you do want to see what your character scales off of. Just as a pointer, if you want to see what your character does, that's going to be the 4th icon here. You just click around and you see the stats. Obviously, again, Verena scales off of the attack stat for healing. As you can see here, the Arboreal Flourish healing is off of attack, and the outro is off of attack. So if you want to heal more as Verena, stack attack, which, very important, is not true for the free-to-play option healer Baiji scales off of HP, which is a little different. So again, you really want to make sure you know exactly what your character scales off of to maximize your stats. So with that tip aside, the other tip you're really going to want to pay attention to is the monster system, or the echoes. I'll probably call them Pokemon by accident because they are Pokemon. But basically, to farm these echoes, again, it's going to be part of the plate consumption system that goes around. When you explore more of the map and you run around more and more, you'll see these boss monsters or boss echoes hovering around. And when you kill these boss echoes, they will sometimes give you their soul to let you absorb, and that soul will give you a lot of stats if you equip them to your character. Obviously, if you've been playing the game, you know that you can transform into these echoes. So it's really important that you have good quality echoes because these not only add into your rotation, these give you stats. So not only do you have weapon stats to pay attention to, you also have echo sets that you have to pay attention to. And you can see here on the top right, this little icon here signifies what set that the echo belongs to. So if I click into my rover, you see as I scroll around, I actually don't know how they're filtered now that I'm looking at it. But you can see that in the bottom left here, since, you know, for some reason it's top right on the icon, bottom left in the menu, you can see that everything corresponds to a specific type. So the most generic type is going to be Lingering Tunes, the Sonata effect. You can see that on the Sonata effect, we have a 2 set and a 5 set. And of course, I just noticed myself, of course, there are more stats to pay attention to. That roll probably randomly again. Let me see if I can find 2 dupes. So you can see here, this Vanguard Drunk Rock is HP and HP. And this bottom Vanguard Drunk Rock is not only a different set, it's a different substats. So learning things myself here, again, new player as well. When you want to farm echoes, make sure you see the stats on both the sets and the stats itself, because you'll be farming forever. And that's, again, very important to know exactly why you're farming, because you want to farm, first of all, a relevant Sonata effect. So Havoc, I don't even know who's Havoc on my team. I don't even know if someone's Havoc, but you want to farm the appropriate weapon or the stats. And you can see here, I actually rolled pretty well, crit rate and attack. And then not only can you roll that, you once again can upgrade your echoes with the same idea. You can feed them with random stuff. So you can see that we get these echo items here. Thankfully, at least, I should probably level this up, shouldn't I? But again, idea is push your stats up, your life will be easier, and everything will be good. And again, make sure that you are always maxing out your cost on your echoes. You can only equip so many, but the very first slot is the important one, because the very first slot is what your skill is determined by. But then everything below that is only important for pure stats. And I think the set effect as well. So you can see here that I've done the bare minimum and gave my main character two sets. So the first 2 set is Spectro damage, because I know the rover is Spectro. And the second 2 set is going to be attack plus, because again, base attack is good. Obviously, I want to fix this up and get mostly attack percent or crit percent so that my character does the most damage possible. But you're going to want to find your main DPS. In this case, I'm going to use rover, even though I have Kacharo, because I like the main character better. And we're going to go roll with that. And so again, maximizing your stats, there's a bunch of stuff, farm your stuff all the time. And so I guess the next basic tip would just be to find the characters or the mobs you want to farm. I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure this is something that I'll probably cover in a later video. I'm sure there's much more experienced content creators that have these clickbait tiles for how you can farm these echoes, but you really want to find out how to farm echoes outside of the bosses, because again, as you can see, even the crappiest echo, as long as their cost is somewhat good, they can provide you with really valuable substats and sets. So you want to make sure that you're always farming mobs, absorbing their souls, checking their stats, and then upgrading them if they're good. Really big deal to maintain that. So this game seems pretty grind heavy. I don't really have much time to grind, so if I do make content, I'll be the guy that's like somewhat behind in stats. Like I'll be coping with my items. I'll hopefully be a bit more of like a economical player. Obviously I got very lucky. You can see that I have 2 5-stars, which is very, very lucky by me. Haven't spent any money yet. Probably will if I really want Yanxi, but we'll see. Yeah, hopefully this short video was really helpful. Again, I know these are super basic tips, but again, I have to reiterate that this is mostly a video to catch up on the hype and just to see if I like the way these videos turn out, because I'm not a very, sweaty YouTuber, so I'm not really good with editing. I just try and find a place to AFK, see if you can put footage in, see if you can make a good video while I'm yapping in the background. But hopefully, if you're new to my channel, if you're new to Wuthering Waves, this video was helpful, and I hope to put better content about this game in the future. Final plugs, I do enjoy a game called Duelist Eden a lot more. If you want to look at my content, it is mostly about that game. Pretty cheap game. Don't know what I'm playing at the very end, but I implore you to go watch my videos there and hopefully be baited into playing that game as well. With all that said, I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.